Hello, welcome to another episode of the GNPS with General Engineer. And I'm out here with my next guest. Joining me all the way from Vegas is none other than your one and only future flyweight world champion of the world, Mr. Phumi Turbo Nkuta. Welcome, bro. What's up, homie? You good, fam?
Yeah, I think we're good. Hold on one sec.
One quick question. Are you on your phone or are you using a tablet or a laptop?
I'm on my phone, brother.
Okay, can you put it sideways?
Yeah.
Maybe not pressing, just like touch, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe just run and bike.
Yeah, get something in.
Something else.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
You good, brother. Good.
I'm
Musa,
not.
right?
Yeah, it's Musa, bro.
Musa. Let me try and
It's
prop this thing up a little bit.
it's a pleasure to finally meet you unofficially.
Yeah, brother. It's a pleasure, brother. It's a pleasure.
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. I'm in Vegas right now.
Yeah, I saw you helping your teammate get ready for this coming fight at UFC 50.
Bro, he's already ready.
Oh my God.
Trust me, he is ready.
I'm so excited, dog, about this upcoming fight card.
It's good, man. Obviously you got the African at the helm, right? You got Izzy Adesanya, but then, man, you got Aljo in the mix and Peter Yan. I mean, look, it's gonna be a fucking great night of fight.
It's gonna be awesome. Tell me, how's the mood? Yeah, I'm sorry to start off with Aljo, but like this is just
No, man.
it's a big moment.
It's awesome, man. It's championship vibes in the air right now. You come into this household and you just breathe in the air and you feel like a champion. So it's nothing but good energy, man. And Saturday night he's gonna take care of business, and he's been working hard for this, man, his whole entire life. He's one hell of a human being, one hell of a coach, one hell of a fighter, and Saturday night he just shows the world he's one of the best pound for pound fighters out there.
Wow. I can imagine, but we'll get back to that later. I know everybody's excited.
Of course.
Even on this side, you know how the casuals are. They only come in for the big pay-per-views. So we'll talk about that.
No. That's all right. Yeah, for sure.
But in any case, for me, the most important thing here, bro, is just to get to know you. I know we only from here in SA we only see you via social media. So I just want to know who is Phumi and where you from. Most people here in SA would wonder how you ended up in the States anyway. So
Yes.
I feel like there's a huge moment and a huge story to tell there as far as your parents are concerned. Just take us back, bro.
Of course, man. Obviously, apartheid was going on in South Africa. That was a huge deal. That was a big thing. And my mom at the time, she, felt some of the issues that went along with apartheid, man. And she loved South Africa. She loved, her country, her family, and everything. But she just didn't want her children to grow up in that environment, grow up, in extreme prejudice, the way she had to, and deal with the things she had to do. So I tell everyone, man, my mom is the smartest human being on the earth. If she wanted to become the president of the United States, I really think she could do it, man. She at 19 years old was able to get into college, was able to get a 4.0 GPA while she had both of my brothers, and after that, man, she was able to even go on and become vice president of several major companies, and she's a very dedicated hard worker, man. And I get my hard work and my work ethic from her. So yeah, man, I love that woman to death, man. I do anything for her.
One quick question. So your mom ended up moving here because of apartheid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
So obviously to seek better opportunities there, because here there was none.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That was basically the reason why she wanted to move here, man. Cause and even at the time, you got to figure things weren't all that much better, right? You know,
yeah,
the U.S. still had their own issues with race that they had to still get over at the time, but it was just much better than it was in South Africa at the moment.
yeah, yeah. Now, when she goes there, does she know anyone over there, or is it just like, hey,
No, yeah, it's just that's why I think it's so inspiring, man. Because she just went by herself, and at first, you know, our family didn't really want her to go. Like I remember talking to my grandpa about it, and he didn't exactly feel safe, you know, with her not being around and
hmm,
her being in the country by herself. But she wanted to seek opportunity somewhere else. She just didn't. She just didn't want, you know, her kids to have to go through certain things she had to go through, and if it meant her being by herself for a little bit to pave a way for me and my brothers, and she was gonna do it.
yeah, yeah. So just oh, sorry, my God. Okay. Just one thing I picked up there is that her parents went so okay. I can imagine. I mean, your child is moving to a foreign country, miles and
Yeah,
miles away.
miles away, different language, everything.
Exactly. So, okay, first things first. Which part of SA are you guys from?
Eastern Cape.
Eastern
My
Cape.
family originally Mount Fletcher, but yeah, her whole Eastern Cape.
Yeah. Oh, now it makes sense. You know why? Because well, the predominant sport here, as far as combat is concerned, is boxing, and
Yeah.
majority of of our best boxers come from the Eastern Cape.
Hey, hey, I'm just saying, man. The Eastern Cape, we produce fighters, man. We produce
I,
fighters.
I guess there's something there in the Eastern Cape waters there.
Yeah, yeah. They produce nothing but warriors, my friend. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. So now you were born in 1995. How
Yeah.
long had your mom been there when she had you?
She came when she was about 19. So I want to say she arrived maybe mid 80s, like late 80s, early 90s. My brother was born, I want to say like 86, 89, and then yeah, and that time, man, she was going through college. So by the time I was born, she, you know, gotten her feet set in America. You know, she'd gotten used to the language. She'd already been working. She'd graduated, and at that point, it was just about making sacrifices every day. I just would remember her always working, always, you know, trying to do things for her job just to be able to provide for me and my brothers. So
Yeah.
man, that's why it's very humbling and inspiring for me, man, because knowing what my mom went through and seeing how hard she worked, I mean, it makes me want to work hard every day too.
Hmm. I know you have two other brothers. Are you the middle child or you at
No,
the end?
I'm the young one, man. I had to take
Oh,
all my beatings as a kid, man. I had to take my licks growing up. So yeah, my brothers are much older than me too. They're about like, you know, 10 years older than me. So
yeah.
it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy growing up. But look, man, you know, you live, you grow, and I wouldn't be a tough dude without my brothers for sure.
Yeah. You were born in New Jersey, right?
New Jersey, South Brunswick.
And how was life growing up there? I mean, because obviously you only know that side of the world, but like I'm
Yeah.
here in SA. I'm interested to find out how's life for a, a child born in America, but their parents are from here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, man, I I grew up, you know, in a nice neighborhood. I don't want to say people were too mean or anything like that, or people were too crazy. I mean, everyone got, you know, roasted. Everyone, you know, we all had fun when we were kids. You know, we share little jokes now and again, and you know, hang out, just have fun, do a little mischief. You know, I
Yeah,
don't want to say it was anything, you know, too crazy, but you know, I mean, obviously, when you're growing up, though, you hear from, you know, the white kids about being black, and then even the black kids about being African, right? So you know, there are little times there when you kind of feel like, damn, I am by myself a little bit.
mm,
Yeah, I mean, you kind of grow up and become a man and all that shit doesn't matter anymore, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You should have been like, hey, I'm from Africa, niggas. Don't play me like that.
No. Like, yeah, we all are, bro. Like, come on.
No, but like your connection is much more recent than the rest of the communities.
Yeah,
So to say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But in any case, moving right along, I mean, you picked up sports at an early age.
Yeah.
I mean, your mom graduated with a 4.0 GPA, a 4.0 GPO. I mean, like, wouldn't your mom expect you to pursue the academical route rather
Well,
than getting your head
hey, look,
smashed in?
hey, look, you're 100% right, and she did, man. But at the end of the day, I'm my own man, and I think, and this is where my mom and I kind of are at it now. Like, she understands my love for the sport. She understands my love for the craft, and she knows that my work ethic comes from her. She sees how hard I work. She sees how much I sacrifice. She sees all the time and energy that I put into this. And at the end of the day, man, like, would she like it if I was in a much safer sport, in a safer environment? Yeah. But, man, she sees a smile on my face. She sees I'm happy. She sees I'm enjoying my life and chasing my dreams and working hard. And it's like, after all that, man, what else can you really say, man? That's kind of what you want out of life anyway. So she's happy, she's proud of me, and it's pretty awesome.
Awesome. So how often do you come to SA?
We try and go every year, if not every 2 years. We went, last time I was there was 2019. Right after my Bellator fight.
Yeah.
And this past year we're gonna go back again, but obviously COVID hit, and the restrictions are tough right now. I mean, rightfully so. But when the borders open back up, I definitely want to head back out there. All my family's out there, so I can't really see them.
We need to grow your fan base here, bro. That's what we need to do.
Hey, man, I keep telling. I was telling Atando Kwani. You know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling him the same thing, man. I was like, look, we gotta start waving up the flags. We gotta start sharing. We gotta start reposting everything, man.
Bro, like, cause like, with if you look at UFC 259, fast forward a couple of years, five years, that could be you headlining an event of this magnitude.
Yeah, man, and that's the goal. Like, I mean, I look at where I am skill-wise now, and I look at where I want to be in the next couple of years. I watch Adesanya, and I watch, Ngannou and Kamaru Usman, raising their flags and having all that kind of fun, man. And it's cool and it's enjoyable, but I don't want them to have all the fun waving up the South African flags, man, or waving up the African flags. I want to get in there myself, you know what I'm saying?
So, bro.
Yeah, man. So hopefully in the next couple of years, man, I would love to bring the big fights, like maybe even fight a guy like Henry Cejudo out in South Africa in that big stadium in Johannesburg, or face a guy like Mighty Mouse, in one of those stadiums, because that stadium, man, that was built for the Olympics, bro. It was built for big matchups. They got 100,000 people in there, man. So, bro, let's do it, man.
Bro. Tell me, like, I mean, how has your career been thus far? I mean, are you satisfied with the progress that you're making? Do you feel like you're moving at a good rate, or do you feel like, you still have a lot that you need to improve on?
I mean, look, I'd say a little bit of everything, man, because am I proud of where I come from? Yeah. Do I want to strive for more, and am I content? Absolutely not. But do I know I'm going to get tremendously better? Of course. The only thing is now I just got to keep putting in the work, man. And next week we've got a big fight. I got to make a big statement against the guy, Alberto Trujillo, for the belt. And look, man, I want to put on such a dominant, amazing performance that everybody in the UFC, everybody in CFFC, everybody in the world is going to say, look, you got to sign that kid. He's going to be the future of the sport.
Yeah. Speaking about your fight, what have you picked up in terms of like weaknesses that you've spotted that you'd like to exploit as far as Alberto is concerned?
Oh man, it's funny, man. We're not exactly looking. we're not exactly looking at Alberto's weaknesses, man. Because in his last fight, he looked a little tough. You know, he got dinged up in the first round a little bit. The guy brought a good pace, brought a good pressure, hit him with good shots. I think he might have dropped him a couple times. You know, took him down a couple times. But man, we're not really looking at his weaknesses. We're looking at my strengths. And at the end of the day, I think I just bring a different pace, a different level of technique. My striking is ridiculous. My grappling and my jiu-jitsu and wrestling, man, is at this point just coming together so well, man. We got the best guys in our team here, Sarah Longo. So from top to bottom, physical attributes to technical attributes, I'm rolling, baby. I'm ready to win a title on March 11th.
You know, watching your fights, I picked up something that you're not just a grappler or a striker. You an all-round mixed martial artist, bro. Like whether you're on your back, you're on top, stand up, it doesn't matter. You got your shit on lock. Is that how you guys train there at Longo and White Man MMA?
100%, man. 100%. That's why I tell everyone we have the best team in the world. You know, not only do we have tough guys who come into the room, like, you know, Murad Davalishvili, who I train with, like Aljo, like Ali Quinta, Chris Weidman. And then we got the amateurs too, and some of the even, you know, the pros that aren't in the UFC, like, you know, Stephen Lee, Dennis Bazooka, Anthony Delemy. You know, we got so many good guys, right? And then on top of that, we all train amongst each other. We're all taught by Ray Longo, probably the greatest coach of all time, the only coach to beat Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre, right? And then on top of that, you know, we learn our jiu-jitsu from Matt Serra, one of the best black belts, one of the OGs in the game. It's like, come on, man. At the end of the day, we're a very well-rounded team. We all have skills in every area, and we're all tough individuals. So that just makes us all good, man. You know?
You mentioned Bellator. Like, you only had one fight there, right?
Yeah. My pro debut was for Bellator.
What is that? Did they never get back to you, or that ship sailed? Your focus is elsewhere?
Yeah, you know, no. So they had the option to bring me back for any of their cards. They didn't call. But dude, they're gonna see on March 11th. I think they missed out on a big one, man.
I can tell them that all the way from here, bro.
Yeah. No, look, man, it's all right. At the end of the day, I'm working hard anyways. It never stopped me from working hard. And hey, look, if I get signed by the UFC, trust me, Scott Coker's gonna be upset he didn't make that phone call a little quicker.
Definitely, that's for sure. You know, looking at your family, like, you know, I mean, from your mom, she's been somebody who's never been afraid to step up to a challenge. I mean, to be bold and brave enough to go to another country, you know, which has its own struggles. You know, when you come from a country that's struggling already, I mean, you growing up around somebody like that, such as your mom, what are the lessons that stand out the most for you that she has instilled in you?
I mean, one is hard work. You know, hard work and dedication, man. I remember even just growing up, there'd be times where I wouldn't see my mom that often because she would have to fly somewhere and work. You know, she had to keep the lights on at the house. And whether it meant, you know, my brothers had to watch me, or, you know, she had to have a friend, or, you know, an auntie, you know, as we call them, watch me. You know, that's what she had to do to make sure she could provide for us. And she did it by herself. You know, I didn't have my dad around with me, you know, and my brothers didn't have their dad too. She took care of all three of us on her own. So I always take away, man, hard work and perseverance always pays off. I look at the sacrifices she made and the things she went through, man. And when I make my sacrifices, when I reach these moments where I'm like, shoot, I got to do this in order to get here, and it looks like a daunting task, or it looks a little tough, you know, I look at my mom and I say, look, she can make it through it, you know, and I'm her son. Trust me, I can make it through anything too. So that's one thing I truly take away is hard work, perseverance, and also she's probably the nicest lady I've ever met in my life. So you know, you got to be a good guy too when you're around her.
Hey, tell me real quick, did you get any hidings growing up?
Did I get what?
Any hidings, like corporal punishment? at home.
Look, my mom's a very nice person, but yes, I got my butt beat growing up.
Oh my God,
all of us, man. You first of all, look, I'm African, brother. We're both African, so we know you can't just do whatever you want in an African home. You come home and you got a C or a D, no good. You come home, your mom found out you lied about something, no good, we all got whoopings in the house, bro.
Hey, bro, that's the only way you stay straight.
Yeah.
So tell me, how do you end up with such illustrious coaches, man, such as Ray Longo and Matt Serra?
Yeah, man. It's crazy how it happened, bro. Because honestly, I wanted to go to Canada and train with the guys at TriStar, and I've been to Montreal a couple times. I liked it. I was willing to learn French. I was like, screw it out. I like the area so much. It's nice. I'll learn French, and I even visited the gym. Met Varas. I don't think GSP or any of like the major guys were there, but I talked to Varas a little bit when I was in high school. Told him, I wanted to train and such, and but it's just crazy how it ended up happening, man. The school I got into was in Long Island. They took too long to get back to me in Canada. So wherever I was going to go, man, I wanted to train and be a full-time mixed martial artist. I wanted to be the best in the world, man, ever since I was a kid. So wherever I was going to go, I needed a gym close by. I needed to train because that was my passion. That was something that since I was 12 years old, I always wanted to do and be the best at. And it's just crazy, man. I looked up other gyms and I saw Long Island MMA. But when I moved in, actually, when I was in Long Island, I ended up actually seeing like all the gyms that were close by. And Ray's was about like a mile away or something like that. So I was like, all right, I don't have a car right now. I could at least walk to the gym, run to the gym, man. So I think for the first like 2 years, I was just running and walking to the gym back and forth. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy how it ends up happening, man. But now, these guys are like my brothers in arms, man.
Yeah.
We all go to war together. We all train together. Right now we're in Aljo's house, kind of eating and sleeping together. So it's awesome, man. It's kind of cool how it ended up working out.
I can imagine. I mean, like you're surrounded by a bunch of bigger brothers now.
No, 100%, man. And look, it's almost like, right, they say that this quote, you hang out with 5 of the richest people in the world, you're more than likely going to end up becoming the 6th. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's so true.
You gotta, it's nice to have good company with you, man. And people who have the same ambitions and the same work ethic. And it's awesome, man. It's really cool.
Like, I always hear fighters talking about visualization,
Yeah.
and all those kind of things. So I just want to find out for you, as far as visualization goes, how do you envision your first fight in the UFC? This is me putting it out there that it's gonna happen.
Honestly, man, I'm not the kind of guy to like look ahead of my opponent, right? Like right now, I know I got a tough guy in front of me. He's gonna be durable. He's not gonna give up. Alberto Trujillo is gonna come there to fight, right? So I know he's the next guy in front of me, man. But look, I get past this guy, which I know I will. I've been working hard. I've been training 5 rounds since October for this fight. After I beat this guy, man, I've already been training for 5 rounds against some of the, with some of the best guys in the world, sparring with Merab Dvalishvili, sparring with, Pompos Gregorio, a hard-hitting 135er. After this fight, man, I would love to take a short notice UFC fight. I'm already in shape. I'm already good to go. My coaches think I'm good to go. Why not, man? I'd love to really just get in there, style on this guy, show I'm one of the best in the world, and say, hey, Dana, sign me up, put me up against one of those guys. I don't care if it's one of the top 15 flyweights. Give me one of the top 5 flyweights. I'm training with the best in the world already, man, and I'm good to go.
Yeah. One would think that, since Matt Serra and Dana are just like this,
It could happen, bro, but I got to put in the work, man. On March 11th,
Yeah,
I got to put on one hell of a performance, man, and show that I'm the guy outside of the UFC that you should be signed. I'm going to show after this fight, man. I'm the hottest free agent in the sport. That's my goal, at least.
Now, tell me, your fight coming up next week. How do you see it playing out? In
Whichever
your
way I want, man, and whichever way I want, we're ready for. I know the fight's 4 rounds. If it's a draw, it goes to the 5th. But we're ready for 5 rounds of hell, man. Like honestly, we've been working for this fight ever since the last one. So November, December, we've been training 5 rounds. January, February, we've been training for a 5-round fight. Before this fight was even made, we've been training for a 5-round fight just because this is what we wanted. I'm not the kind of guy to, want a goal and sit there and sit on the couch. If I want a title fight, trust me, I will be training 5-minute rounds. I'm going to be putting in the work with the best guys in the world to do so. On March 11th, Alberto Trujillo, I don't know if he expects me to grapple with him. I don't know if he expects me to strike with him, but he should be ready for a 5-round sprint. And I don't think he's going to keep up with Turbo.
By the way, since you mentioned your nickname Turbo, okay, I'm not gonna make you explain this how you got it again. If anyone is watching this, you don't know how the man got his nickname, go watch all his other interviews.
Yeah, just watch the other interviews, man. Watch the previous ones. Do your homework.
I want to give you a South African one. Can you allow me to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me the meaning, everything, brother. I'm ready.
Since your nickname is Turbo, which obviously has to do with speed and being fast and things like that, the nickname I came up for you is Machuka.
Machuka. Okay.
Which means somebody who does things fast, like everything that you do is quick. You don't see it, like
Yes.
If I were to use it in a sentence, I'd say, "Hey, Phumi Nkuta." Like,
okay.
Phumi is gonna mesmerize you, bro. Like, by the time you realize that Phumi has mesmerized you, it's too late. It's already done.
I like it, brother. I like it.
So yeah,
I'm in, brother. That's my. You know what? It's official now. That's my new South African nickname. You call me Turbo in the States, and I'm in South Africa. That's my name.
Straight up, dog. Because even in your fights, bro, like I watch how you change levels. It's up top, then you down, and you take your takedowns at the cleanest I've seen at the level that you at. So I understand why you say you belong at the top. I see fighters at the top, and I look at you, and there's no difference, bro. In any case, I can only wonder what would happen if they put you in a ring, maybe say next to an Alex Perez.
And that's honestly that's the thing, man. And we're working hard for moments like that, right? Like, I know I'm a 2-0 fighter. Not many 2-0 fighters would get an opportunity at the CFFC strap. Usually you got to have 5 wins, 4. You got to have a couple wins to get that belt. But I think CFFC knows just how good I am. I know how good I am. My coaches know how good I am. And we know where I want to be in a couple years, right? We know that in a couple years, I don't just want to be a UFC champion. I want people to be saying, oh, this guy's one of the pound for pound best in the world right now, and I'm shooting for the stars, man, aiming for the moon. So let's get it cracking, man. Give me guys like that. Give me the CFFC belt. I want the toughest guys in the world. I don't just want to go out there and sandbag people. If I want to do that, then this is my 3rd fight. I'd be fighting somebody making their debut again. I'd be fighting somebody who's got a 1-2 record, or I'd be fighting somebody 0-3. But instead, I'm going for the CFFC champ. And then after that, I'm best believe I'm calling out Dana, and I want anybody in, I have an impressive enough performance. Give me someone in the top 5 of the UFC flyweight division. I'll show you I'm one of the best in the world right now.
Dog, I'm behind that 100%. Now, you obviously have no plan of defending this CFFC strap that you're about to collect next weekend.
Look, it's not. Look, obviously, right? All things considered, I would love to defend that belt, but at the end of the day, man, my goals are high. Like I said, man, in a couple years, I don't just want to be UFC champion. I want to be on that pound for pound list. it's like right now, yeah, would it be cool to defend that CFFC belt? Sure, but right now I know technically I'm one of the best guys out there. Why not face someone in the UFC? Why not go high and shoot for the stars?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, what's your prediction for this weekend for Aljo's fight?
Oh man, bro, you just got my blood pumping when you asked that question. Honestly, man, I think Aljo's gonna backpack this guy. You know, I think he has more ways to win. I think he can beat him on the feet too, man. His leg kicks are hard to stop, and Jan's open for them. The body kicks, Jan keeps his elbows flared out. He's gonna be open for those too. And dude, if you ever seen Aljo in the room, you know his head kicks are lightning quick, man. But honestly, I think he might just backpack him. But at the end of the day, Aljo's just got more ways to win. I think no matter what, we're seeing a new bantamweight champ on Saturday.
I'm with you on that one. I definitely want to see Aljamain win, purely because it deserves it. I mean, he's on an impressive streak at the moment. You know,
man, and that's the thing too. Like, people don't realize, man. Right now, he's not just winning in the cage. He's winning in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gone from just being the kid from Uniondale to now he's got 2 homes that he owns, right? He has a house in Vegas and a house in New York. You know, now he went from just being, you know, the guy in the gym who's working hard. Now he's teaching the classes, right? Now he's bringing a whole level of knowledge to the game. And, you know, he's helping the guys like me and all the younger guys who are part of the team elevate themselves too. So he's not just going to be, you know, he's not just a winner in the ring. He's a winner in life, man. And I think on Saturday, we're going to see that he is one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. And that won't just be, you know, a product of him training hard his whole life, but it's going to be a product of him being a winner in life.
Awesome. Now, tell me, let's say this is just me looking at the future, just in case I don't get to speak to you before it happens. So we'll talk about it now. Let's say now you're in the UFC and, you know, you've done the flyweight. Are you going to be one of those fighters that bump up in weight class? Where were we? Well, before we go anywhere, tell me, what inspired you to like get into MMA?
Oh man, so I'd seen boxing growing up. My mom was a boxing fan. She was a big fan of Lennox Lewis. She was a fan of who else? Antonio Tarver too. She liked Mike Tyson a little bit, but she liked the other 2 guys a little bit more. And I kind of got into kickboxing on my own. So I got into boxing through her, but I'd known kickboxing. But at the same time, I'd also watch professional wrestling, right? So I always had this appreciation growing up for, you know, I thought team sports are all right, but I always had this real appreciation for sports where it's mano y mano. You know, there's one guy versus another guy, and there's no ball you have to put in a basket, right? There's no, you know, you don't have to hit something with a stick and see how far, you know, it's just one guy versus another guy. Is your technique better than this guy's technique? Are you faster than this guy? Do you have more heart than the other guy? I really love sports where it has that mano y mano type of feel to it, man. And one day I was flipping through the channels and I saw a guy who used to be a pro wrestler named Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, he used to be a pro wrestler, like, but what is, like, this isn't pro wrestling right now. Like, I don't know what I'm watching, but this is real, man. But it was cool because even, you know, I'd watch other sports, but even seeing him, you know, I think he was fighting Tito Ortiz at the time. I, even at 12 years old, was able to see, okay, Tito would take him down and Ken would do something to try and get up, right? Yeah. And Tito would stop that technique, right? And then Ken would try and respond with something else. So even when I was young, I didn't exactly see it as 2 people just going into a ring and, you know, throwing hands and, you know, just kind of battling each other, man. I always saw it as, okay, there's technique involved here. This guy's trying to do something and this other guy's trying to stop him from doing those techniques. So that was something I was able to pick up on. And then, you know, as the years go, man, you just, even before I started, you know, I joined a school, I'd been doing that on my own, man. I would just pause and stop and pause, play, rewind all these fights and try and break them up and, you know, break them down myself, even when I was young, man. So that's how I got into the sport, and I just never looked back.
Wow. Can I tell you how I got into watching MMA?
Yeah, let me hear it, bro. Let me hear it.
It probably I took the same route as you.
Yep.
I used to be a WWE fan. Yeah.
Oh, of course, man. We all were growing up, bro. We all were.
And Brock Lesnar moved to MMA. So that's when I was like, hey, let me check this MMA thing out. What's it about? And turns out, it's actually what I was looking for at WWE. Because the one disappointing thing, especially on this side, because we're so far removed from, even seeing those guys in real life. But you guys are much closer. So here, like growing up, I had this impression that in WWE they were like actually having a real fight.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
And then when I got older, I'm like, they said, no, there's a script to this. I'm like, what? So I've been watching lies the whole time. I want to see a guy beat for real, bro.
You know what it is though, man? Like I would say like it's almost like pro wrestling is almost like a dramatized version of MMA. Cause I honestly, and that's why I like pro wrestling, man. I like the fact that like, all right, one guy is competing against another guy and there's a belt on the line, right? There's this big shiny object, we're all aspiring for this one thing. The cool thing about pro wrestling is you'd be like, oh, he doesn't like this guy because he did this. Oh, he attacked him after you know what I mean? So that always made wrestling kind of cool to me. But yeah, MMA is a little different because it's real, it's you're actually getting in there now.
Yeah. You know who Conor McGregor reminds me of? You remember Eddie Guerrero?
Of course. Lie, cheat, and steal, baby. Of course.
Bro, his whole attitude is on the tip. So, I mean, that's when I knew I was like, hey, this is the sport. So this is the right sport for me. So, I mean, like for you, other than Ken Shamrock, Tito Ortiz, I mean, like after you've been introduced to MMA, who else do you then see after that and be like, hey, here's more motivation for me to go to this route?
So like I was telling you, man, I would watch so many fights, man. Like after I saw that first fight, I literally was looking up all the best guys. I watched all the guys like Rampage Jackson and Rashad Evans. I saw those guys at their peak, their prime when they were fighting. I was watching. But the guys I really looked up to, man, were honestly the guys who use their brains a lot more, the guys who use a little bit more technique. I always looked up to Frankie Edgar. Because Frankie Edgar wasn't always the biggest guy, but man, his footwork was so good and he was so smart the way he was able to pick guys apart. And when I watched him beat BJ Penn, who at the time I thought was the best lightweight of all time,
bro,
it opened up a whole new game to me, man, because you're used to all these guys standing in front of each other and exchanging. Here comes this guy moving side to side, using angles, using boxing, switching it up, and then with the kicks and then mixing in the wrestling. So I liked watching Frankie Edgar, man. I loved watching Dominic Cruz as well, too, because Dominic Cruz brought that same mentality, right? Using his footwork, using his brain, except the thing I learned with Dominic Cruz is it's all right to think outside of the box in the sport.
Yeah.
Right? You look at Dominic Cruz and the way he fights, compared to a guy like Edgar. Edgar he moves a lot, but he moves technically, right? You see what he's trying to do. You can almost mimic those techniques. Dominic Cruz used a lot of footwork in that regard, but he just did it so wildly, man. Like you never, even today, you don't see people really moving exactly the way Dominic Cruz moves. So those two guys were very, influential to me growing up because it was just like, all right, the footwork is there, and then Dominic Cruz kind of taught me, all right, you can fight well and have all these techniques, but sometimes you got to think outside of the box, man, and use your mind. So those two guys, and then of course, man, you got GSP and Anderson Silva, who at the time, man, like they just brought a level of greatness to the table. It's like, how can you not want to be like those guys?
They took it to another level, eh?
Yeah, of course.
If you look at all those areas that you just mentioned, like starting from Ken Shamrock, all the Frankie Edgar's, BJ Penn, all the way
that we're
up,
basically going
all
from
the
the
way,
beginning of the UFC all the way to now. It's crazy, right?
all the way to Anderson Silva until now. How far do you think the sport has grown? Like, in terms of skill wise and the amount of talent that's available?
Man, I think the sport has just grown in so many aspects, man. Like even from when I started watching, I mean, the sport's only really what, like, 20 years old, maybe.
Yeah,
So like, like
just 20 years, just 19, 20 years.
Yeah, like it's a relatively new sport, especially compared to American sports like football, which had been around since the 50s, and basketball much longer before that, right? So man, you see all these guys back then, and right back then even you could see a guy like Tito Ortiz just sit in someone's guard and use ground and pound. Nowadays, man, you got guys throwing up submissions off their back, and then when you stand up with them, you got to worry about their hands. Like right now, we're not really in the age of facing specialists anymore, right? Yeah. You're not going to be going up against just a boxer. You got to have your wrestling and your kickboxing and your jiu-jitsu tight, man, or else you're going to fall behind all the other guys that do have it right.
I feel like we back in the times, back in the day when the Gracies were all, first came into the sport and they brought in the jiu-jitsu, and then everyone saw that, hey, I need to know how to do this. I feel like we're at that time right now because it's not MMA is not fixed like boxing. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Anything, man, anything.
You get guys opening up with flying knees.
Yeah, man, 100%. And I think that's the cool thing that, and I saw this from an early age, man. Like I saw guys who were able to wrestle. I saw guys who were able to do jujitsu. And then, the more you start watching the sport, you watch guys like Edgar. It's like, okay, now I'm watching guys who can do both. So as I've been watching the sport evolve, my game's kind of evolved, and now I'm almost looking ahead, so I was, 15, 16, 17 years, 17 years old, not just thinking about jiu-jitsu, not just thinking about wrestling, not just thinking about kickboxing, but thinking about, okay, how can I put all of these, martial arts together? How can I put them all together and, really be a pound for pound level fighter, be the kind of guy where, look, I can box you up on the feet, I can kickbox you, and at the same time, I'll wrestle you, throw you on the mat, put you on your back, and get you in a sub. You know what I'm saying? So,
just like you did in the last fight of yours.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Like we've come a long way from the days of just being decent everywhere. You look at a guy like Mighty Mouse or a guy like Henry Cejudo, especially at the lower weight divisions where the guys are the best in the world, really the best in the world. Because look, not for nothing, man. You got heavyweights that are good. I get it. They might be in the top 5 of heavyweight, but look, if we're talking about real martial arts skill, are the heavyweights really the guys to watch? Nah, man. It's the flyweights, it's the bantamweights, it's the high level guys, man, that can wrestle, grapple, strike, and put it all together in transition. So I think at our weight class, you see peak mixed martial arts, not just boxing, not just kickboxing or wrestling or jiu-jitsu, but peak mixed martial arts.
I always say, like, that with the heavier you go up, it kind of becomes like a bodily advantage type of thing. If you go down to the lower weights, it's more than body. You have to use your mind. Because everyone is just that quick and that much talented.
Yeah, man, and you have to be good, right? It's like you're going up against a guy like Mighty Mouse. What are you just gonna go in there as a striker and think you're gonna win? Like, nah, man, that guy's gonna take you down, and then after he takes you down, you're gonna be worried about the takedown. He's gonna start beating you up on the feet and beating you at your own craft. Yeah. I think that's the difference between the flyweights and all these other guys. The heavyweights, don't get me wrong, they're good, but look, those fights either end up being a world star hip hop scrap or, they end up being a sleeper. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, I'm not hating on any of those guys, but just
no.
being
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Because like if you look back last year, you look at the Moreno and Figueiredo fight.
I mean,
Fight of
bro,
the year, bro.
Bro, that's fight of the year, man. I mean, come on, what are we talking about? And I guarantee you, when those two fight again, it's gonna be even crazier. And the crazy thing about that was Figueiredo just fought 2 weeks prior, right? So look, man, the flyweights are not only just here to stay. We are the best and premier fighters on the planet. In my opinion, flyweight, bantamweight, I think are the best guys in the world. Don't get me wrong. The guys at lightweight are good. Khabib is phenomenal. Conor, Dustin Poirier, those guys are great. But look, man, none of those guys are throwing people in the air and taking their arm out of the sky like Mighty Mouse.
None.
That's just not happening.
None. There's no way those guys are doing that.
No way, bro. No way. It's just a different level of technique, my man. You know.
Tell me. I saw in one of your past interviews, you mentioned that there was a point that you were, should I say, homeless, or you were sleeping.
Yeah, that's 100% fair. That's 100% fair.
How does that happen? How does that happen? I mean, here in Africa, we're thinking, if you're in the States, man, you're sorted. Things like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, man. No, it was look, I didn't have much money, right? And like I told you, I was going all or nothing for this mixed martial arts thing, man. I wanted to do this since I was 12. I've been passionate about it. I've been working hard. And like we were talking about sacrifices earlier, man, that was one of the sacrifices I had to make. I was short on money. I was trying to just compete, chase my dream, and trying to make things happen as best as I could and get as good as I possibly could get. And, just got to a point where it was like, shoot, I don't really have the money to live here in Long Island, man. New York is expensive, bro.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, living in the States is cool and all, but it's expensive to live here, man. So yeah, it just got to a point, man, where I didn't have a place to live. All my money really had to either go towards food and gas, right? So I can just get from point A to point B. So, it was one of those things, man, where it was like I either give up on my dream, I go home, and look, my family would have accepted me with open arms. I would have gotten all kinds of love if I went home. But man, I couldn't let go of that dream, man. So I was just like, look, bite the bullet, sleep in your car for a couple of days. It'd be times, man, where it was so cold at night, you got to turn on the car a little bit. Yeah. And then just let the gas run so you can warm up, and then you go back to sleep. So like, here I am, man. I'm getting like 2 hours of sleep now, 3 hours of sleep. I still got to train. I still got to eat. I still got to work and, do all those kinds of things, man. But look where I am today. It ended up all being worth it.
Wow. That's a really remarkable story, bro. Because I mean, like I said, we out here think things are easy out there, and here you are, you sharing with us that not everything comes easy, because we might see you and look where you are, and we see you at Bellator, and now you possibly could be in line to be the CFFC champion, and after 100%. That, possibly a UFC contract, and we think it's all rosy. Meanwhile, you did your time, bro.
Look, man, and at the time too, you're kind of embarrassed by that kind of thing, right? So you don't want to be going around telling people, look, man, I'm homeless, like, because then you're just looked at like a homeless guy, like, yeah, but here's the thing, like now, since I've kind of overcome it, it's almost like, oh, wow, okay, he made it past that, right? But, at the time, I kind of felt like, oh, man, like, I'm just that homeless guy, like I didn't have anything to show for it, I just kind of had to make that sacrifice, go through the grind. And look, man, some people make that sacrifice and they don't come out on the other side of it. Luckily for me, I had a good team, good people. And look, man, I had one of the great teammates, Ally Quinta, who's part of our team. He actually gave me a place to live after he
shout out to Ally. Oh my God.
Shout out to Al for helping the kid out, man.
Shout out to Al, man. Shout out to Al.
gave me a place to live for a little bit when I was in rough times. But yeah, man, at the time you're definitely a little bit embarrassed by it. But you know what, man, you learn to kind of grow up, and you realize, look, if I didn't go through that moment, I might not be here, man. Like when I was sitting in that car and I was homeless, man, I would just keep telling myself, I would envision, you know, me winning the UFC belt, you know, Bruce Buffer calling my name and Dana wrapping that belt around my waist. And I'm not there yet, but shoot, I'm a hell of a lot further than where I used to be, man, in that car. So that kind of helped me push through, power through, and now look where we are, man. We're about to fight for the CFFC belt, make this win big, man, and we're going to the UFC.
Definitely.
hopefully, please.
Definitely. I put my money on you, bro. You got this.
You're the man.
I've seen 4 of your fights online, by the way, which people can go check out right here. If you're wondering, if you want to see the man in action, go see a couple of his fights, and you'll see why you should support him. Bro, all I want to say is I'm a fan, and for as long as I do what I'm doing, I'm gonna keep pushing your name. I'm gonna grow this fan base.
Yes, sir.
People need to know that Umajuka is here.
Oh my guy. Oh my guy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, hopefully on March 11th, man, I've been working hard ever since November. On March 11th, I hope to make, you know, not just my team proud, not just my family proud, and my friends, but you and everybody in the home country, South Africa, proud. I'm coming out there waving that flag high, and after that, we're gonna get that belt around my waist, raise my hand high, and that South African flag gonna be high too, brother.
Awesome, bro. Any last words that you wanna say? It could be anything. It doesn't have to be MMA related. Anything that's personal, just coming from you. This is just a message to people here in SA, Africa.
I'd say, man, honestly, I would just say if you have a dream, stick it out. You know, there are a lot of times where I question myself. A lot of times where, you know, I was working as hard as I possibly could, but, you know, I kept reaching obstacle after obstacle. And I felt, you know, maybe I should give up. Maybe I should throw in the towel. But I didn't. But I didn't. And sometimes you gotta maybe be homeless to get your dream, man. But, you know, I think, man, is if you work as hard as you possibly can, there's nothing you can't overcome. Nothing. You know, I don't care if it's something that affects you mentally. I don't care if it's something that affects you physically. If you work as hard as you possibly can, you stay forward, you keep a positive attitude, you know, you can make any dream come true.
Absolutely, bro. You heard it from the man himself. That is Phumi Nkuta, all the way out in the States, holding us down. Hey, send my well wishes to Aljo. Tell him out here in SA supporting him as well.
Will do. And for all you guys that want to follow me on social media, follow me, Phumi Nkuta _MMA, PHUMI NKUTA _MMA. That's on Twitter and on Instagram.
Away. Shout out. Peace, bro. Thank you for doing this.
Peace.
When you come out here in SA, we need to do it in person, right?
Let's do it, brother. Let's do it.
Awesome, bro. Take care.
Take care.
Yeah. Enjoy camp, the rest of camp. See you on the 11th on the screens.
Cheers, brother. We're bringing that belt back to SA.
Cheers, bro.